you spending hours of your time on crafting and putting together a beautiful proposal of all the samples of your work just to get ghosted by potential clients? Then today's video is for you, because in partnership with Cloud Campaign, I'm going to share the most underrated way for you to start signing high-ticket clients that only a fraction of social media managers are actually doing. Hey, my name is Milou and I own a $500,000 social media marketing agency, and I now help social media managers do the same. If you want to know what's stopping you from signing high-ticket clients, then make sure you take my quiz to find out within seconds. Now let's dive in. The first thing you want to do instead of collecting samples of your work is to collect sample data. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably wondering where the heck am I going to pull this data from? And it doesn't even need to be your client's accounts. This could be your own account, or you can actually pull data to start creating case studies. Case studies are one of the strongest social proof you can have as a social media manager to attract and convert high-ticket clients. Now, here's where I recommend for you to hook up your social media accounts and your clients' social media accounts to third-party social media management software like Cloud Campaign that doesn't only allow you to get way more access to data of the account in organized ways, but you can actually share this data with clients too, creating interactive reports inside of Cloud Campaign, and by simply sharing a simple link with clients so that they can look at monthly, quarterly reports and move around within the data itself. So if you're still creating manual reports, you definitely need to use a tool like Cloud Campaign. Now, for the sake of creating case studies, we need to be able to pull all sorts of data so that we can create a case on our work instead of showing samples of designs and visually appealing content that we've created. Clients that want to pay you thousands of dollars for your work want to see the data and the actual impact you are able to make with social media. Now, what I recommend for any case study is that you gather at least 30 days of data. You want to see what actually changed between 1 month and another, and so you can create a case on what changed and how you are able to get this growth. So often platforms like Instagram itself will even show you, hey, your stats or your post reach has increased by 100 or 200%. And you can use that data to showcase to potential clients how much visibility you were able to get a client, how much reach, how many impressions, how many followers. You can create a case for all of these things. But the idea is for you to pull at least 30 days of data to write a case study about, and make sure that you only focus on one metric at a time. So if you're creating a case to showcase how much visibility growth you got a client, make sure you only focus on that and you don't necessarily want to focus on follower growth and all of the other things. But pull 30 days of data, sample data, for a case study that I'm going to build with you. Now, in order to put together and develop this case study, you need to start off with the objective. I've already told you how and where you're going to be pulling that data later on, but before you can actually do that effectively, you need to ask yourself, what are you creating a case study on? Now, for myself, how I like to do this is I ask myself, what points am I trying to prove? So a real good example here is that I want to showcase and prove to my clients how impactful video content is for them and for their visibility. So what I would do is, in the upcoming 30 days, for example, what I would have done is I would have created more video content together with my client and posted twice as much video content as I would in a regular month. Now, after those 30 days, I'm gonna look at their insights and see what changed. My focus and objective here is to prove how much video content can impact your social media presence. Then the data I'm pulling can be, maybe their reach doubled because you were creating more reels and more video content. Maybe their engagement spiked up. Maybe they attracted more followers. So I'm going to keep track of all of those things so that I can build a case and say, hey, we were able to increase our clients' reach by 200%. You know, if you were able to double or triple it by 200%, by posting or implementing video strategies. So this way you are proving a point on how you effectively implement strategies and the results it gets. Now, the thing here is sometimes these cases, the points you're trying to prove don't always work out. Maybe you find out that maybe video content wasn't actually helping them, which I doubt is the case. But let's say that will be the result of your case study, then you don't necessarily have to use it, or you can prove another point. But the whole point here is that you need to have an objective and a goal that you're going after before you start pulling the data, so that you know what point you're trying to prove. Now, inside of Cloud Campaign, you can pull this data, you can export the data, you can customize the range on what type of numbers you're looking to attract. And one of my favorite parts about their analytics is that it will actually summarize the analytics you're looking at. So you can dive super deep into this and you don't have to spend a ton of time on it because you're not actually manually having to pull those numbers. And again, if you're sharing monthly and quarterly reports with clients, you want to use their shareable link where you create interactive analytics reports for your clients to access. So now that you have been able to access your data, you have come up with an objective for your case study, it's time to actually execute and package it up. Now, the best part about case studies is you don't have to do anything crazy in order to create those, okay? You don't have to go viral, you don't have to have insane numbers, you can do the math yourself here. But in order to package it up, we're gonna start coming up with a headline. Just like I mentioned before in the example, let's say you doubled your video output to prove how that will expand a client's reach. You can say we increased our reach by 100% by implementing custom video strategies. So that, for example, could be your headline. Now, I have a ton of examples on my website on case studies where you can see the things we like to include. So you start with a headline. You want to include screenshots and real receipts that this actually happened. And you want to include things like, how did you do this, right? Other things I like to include is the industry and the service that this client contracted us for. So that other potential clients, whether they come on your website, whether you share case studies with them, they can see exactly what package was the client on, what services were you doing for them if they want similar results. And they can see that you're able to get people tangible, real results. And so case studies like these are so powerful and not enough social media managers actually do them. And again, all this data you can find inside of a third-party tool that makes it super easy to actually create these case studies. You can try Cloud Campaign for 14 days free. I will drop the link below to access the free trial. And if you love it as much as I do, you can use my code Milou15 to get a little discount on your membership. Now that you have packaged it up and you've created your very first, or maybe a new way for you to have created a case study, you can add some mojo to these case studies. I personally can't remember the last time I asked the client for a testimonial, simply because we rely on case studies. I personally don't believe in testimonials in a way that I believe a happy client is always going to say great things about you, but it still doesn't tell the whole story. It doesn't share the results they've gotten, how you got it for them. And so case studies are, in my opinion, and really the way we've gotten clients, so much more valuable. But it doesn't mean you can't spice them up and add some mojo. So to make these even stronger, you can still add visual results. You can still add before and afters visually. You can add content that was actually used in your case study. So you can show the video content you did. If we go back to my video example, and as a cherry on top, if you do want to pull a testimonial or ask a client for a review, you can add that to the case study, and you are literally putting a ribbon and a bow on that case study as you package it up. And I promise you, this is going to change the game for you when trying to sign new high-ticket clients that are simply looking for similar results or want to see what you're capable of. And something I always tell new clients is that results always vary, right? I can show them case studies that are similar to them, similar businesses, or they were in a similar spot as them, so that they can see what we're capable of. But again, it doesn't guarantee the same results for them. Now, that wraps up my video for today on how you can really stand out as a social media manager and land those high-ticket clients by doing something most social media managers aren't doing. Now, if you want to check out Cloud Campaign as the part corner of this video, make sure you grab their free 14-day free trial so you can see what else Cloud Campaign is capable of, and I will see you in next week's video.